Hey team, thanks for joining me today for another CHOT Teachable Moments. Today we continue in our series we're calling The Experience: How to Positively Affect Quality Scores and Deliver Superior Care. And this is a series where we are going through all of the CAHPS questions one by one. Today, we're going to cover two. So let's dive right into it. The first question we're going to look at is question 21. How often did your family member get the help they needed for trouble with constipation? A very specific symptom question, right? So, what can we do? Obviously, as a nursing professional, we want to assess that at every visit. We want to assess for their last bowel movement, assess for constipation. We want to make sure we're implementing a bowel regimen every time when a patient is on opioids. And we want to educate on bowel function, right, to the patient and the caregiver as appropriate on bowel function at the end of life, because we know that just because people slow down on eating and drinking or stop eating and drinking, that does not mean that their digestive tract completely stops. So we should be aware of that. And also, constipation, right, is one of the things that as nurses we assess for when we have patients with terminal agitation, right? It's one of the three P's, poop, right? So we're assessing for that because if someone's constipated, that can lead to a state of terminal agitation and be one of those root causes. So we want to always make sure we're assessing for that and we're not leaving that out of our assessment. And then question 23 says, how often did your family member get the help they needed from the hospice team for feelings of anxiety or sadness? Again, anxiety can have a lot of different root causes. We want to make sure we're assessing for signs of anxiety and sadness at every visit. And we want to look for those underlying causes, right? And it can be a wide array of things that causes anxiety. This could be psychosocial, it could be spiritual in root, right? It could be physical, right? Someone who is experiencing shortness of breath or dyspnea most likely is also experiencing anxiety. So we need to try to find that root cause so that we know how to treat it. And then finally, utilize all members of the team, right? This is the reason we are a team and why we have different disciplines and specialties, right? From a nursing standpoint, we're looking at all these things, but focusing primarily on the physical concerns and the physical causes of issues. But with things like anxiety and sadness, right, there could be a wide array of reasons, delving even into spiritual, into for sure psychosocial. So make sure we don't forget to involve our team, involve psychosocial, involve social workers, involve the spiritual care coordinators, get volunteers involved if a volunteer could be of benefit to the patient. All of these things, right? And touching that patient, right, and being with that patient, spending time with that patient, all of those different disciplines can add something to that and can help address the root cause of some of that anxiety and sadness. So, um, again, common thread throughout all these questions, we always want to be communicating with the caregiver. Again, the caregiver is going to be the one that answers these survey questions. So when we're addressing these issues, whether it's constipation, whether it's anxiety or sadness or both, that we're also communicating with the caregiver the things that we're doing and the things that we're implementing to address these issues. So finally, we come to fruits of your labor. These are the comments we receive back on those surveys, right? So once the survey is completed, people have an option to be able to write or type in now with the electronic option comments. So we take a comment from each site every time we do one of these videos. So the first site is Waco. Everyone was amazing, and I would recommend them to everyone. Thank y'all so much for taking care of our mother and making her comfortable. So kudos to you, Waco team. Well done. Fort Worth, I would like to thank the whole team that took care of my wife. They all did a wonderful job, from the nurses, techs, social worker, and chaplain. Also, the chaplain did the service at my wife's funeral. Again, thank you all so much. So kudos to the entire team in Fort Worth. Well done. And then Cleburne, the agency team my mother had was the best that I could ask for. Please thank Omar for the care and patience with, and they put the patient's name's daughter, answered all my questions with professional and helpful information. This was my first time having to go through this, and I was her full time caregiver. Couldn't have done it without them. So kudos, Omar, as they called you out specifically, and the entire Cleburne team. Well done. And then finally, Hospice House Hughley. Every person we came in contact with was amazing. The staff guided us through the process of my mother in law's passing with great care and compassion. The care they gave her was everything we hoped for and surpassed our expectations. Well done, Hospice House at Hughley. Kudos to you. Well done to the entire team. I want to say thank you, as always, for everything you do every day for our patients, our families, our facility partners, and for one another. Hope you all have a great day. We'll talk to you later.